Once upon a time, in the days when the stars shone far fewer in the sky than they do now, the gods of light, order, and destiny vied with the gods of darkness, chaos, and chance to see who would control the world. They waged the struggle with dice. There were victories and defeats, but there was no resolution. The gods tired of dice, so they created pawns and a board to place them on. They created a world and many tribes therein. These pawns adventure, achieve victory, suffer defeat, find treasure or happiness, and ultimately they die. In time, the gods came to love these characters and their doings. The dice fall against them sometimes, but so it goes. Into the world there appeared one particular adventurer. He was Goblin Slayer. Goblin Slayer is an ongoing light novel series turned manga, now turning anime, that's going to be coming to your television pretty soon. It's going to be the show that tides us over until Neo 2 or Sekiro comes out. But why is it that this anime is going to be such a big deal? Well, of course we could chalk it up to the engaging storyline, the anti-hero development, or even our mutual hate for goblins. However, there's one thing that's going to separate this show from any other anime that's airing the season it's on, and that's White Fox Studios. Barely 10 years old, White Fox Studios has had the privilege of being on every anime lover's televisions, with shows like Steins Gate, ReZero, Akame ga Kill, The Devil's a Part-Timer, and many other high-quality productions under their belts. They're set to dominate yet another season of television. While the premise is no wet dream for any seinen or shonen fans, the adult themes, the character development, and the no bullshit storyline is what's gonna keep you coming back week to week to watch this anime. With director
Takaharu Ozaki,
fresh off of Persona 5 the animation, and the screenwriter
Hideyuki Kurata,
right off of 2017's Made in Abyss Anime of the Year, fans are sure to feel a surge of emotions that are going to keep them clinging to the edge of their seats. Made in Abyss, like Goblin Slayer, was serialized monthly in magazines, which means that they typically don't get as many panels to establish connections with characters, environments, or atmosphere. So for a manga like that to shine so bright to catch the attention of this director and this screenwriter means that we're in for something truly amazing. While Goblin Slayer doesn't break the mold of anime tropes, it handles its characters very differently from your typical adventure anime. Our heroes don't bear names but are defined as their very position. Goblin Slayer is a Goblin Slayer, and nothing more. He doesn't yearn for anything but to slay goblins. He isn't given any special privileges and is nothing more than a means to an end. So long as our hero exists, goblins may not. In the world of Goblin Slayer, goblins are slime enemies. They are the first enemy you encounter, except a little bit more heinous. Described as about as smart as a child, they hunt in packs, live to pillage, rape, and breed. Throughout the series, many a hero show mercy on the goblins, only to meet a quick demise or a life of torture. It's the behind-the-scenes acts of the goblins that make them such a truly horrible creature. Goblins are born by rape, have no culture, and cannot exist without the heroes. This symbiotic cycle between heroes and goblins is so harmonious that one truly can't live without the other. In a sense, goblins are more trouble than they're worth. Because of such an excess of cannon fodder troops, the pay for their slaughter is extremely low, which allows them to thrive, but only by the skin of their teeth. While many other heroes underestimate the goblin, our hero Goblin Slayer does not. He sees beyond the plague of their existence and even compares their hierarchy to his own. Goblins, like heroes, have ranks, abilities, and missions of their own. They even bore the same hatred for others, yet they yearn for more. Goblins want to rape, conquer, and rule the lands, while Goblin Slayer just wishes to do as his name implies and slay the goblins. His one-track mind, lack of empathy, and awkward socially autistic behavior put him in a league of his own. With his dedication to his expertise in decimation of a whole species, why is it that he hasn't become a quote-unquote real hero yet? While his backstory leaves something to be desired, it does explain his lack of growth and his ambition to slay goblins. In Goblin Slayer, we never see his face, and it doesn't matter. Goblin Slayer doesn't expect you to self-insert as many other adventure mangas do. He's a simple man with simple desires. Think of him as a machine. What little he does say is the equivalent of an NPC explaining a game mechanic. With his signature catchphrase, "Is that so?" we're introduced to our first hint of who Goblin Slayer really is. But to discuss this, we're first gonna have to discuss what he's not. He's not the chosen one, and he's not extraordinary by any means. He's the protagonist in a silent Western flick. He says very little, gets his hands very dirty, and leaves without praise. While praise is an ego currency that almost everyone uses to operate, our hero needs no thanks. He just needs a short sword and a goblin to slay. With 4 light novels, 2 separate mangas, and an upcoming anime, there's a lot of Goblin Slayer to digest. So I ask you, are we going to be watching Goblin Slayer this October?